Fvoyer was an idea that I had while I was living in an apartment, and the lobby had a fixed security camera, and when you put it on a certain channel on your television, you could see the image that was coming from the camera, direct cable feed. And I was looking at it and I thought, well, you know, I could probably do a short film out of this, just put a tape in the VCR, it wouldn't cost me anything, and stage something in front of the camera. And then I thought, well, I've done a few short films, I kind of wanted to do a feature, so I thought it's not going to cost me anymore to do a feature, and then the wheels started turning.
I'm originally from Los Angeles, California. 1 year in the NFL with the Washington Redskins. I would say that was in 1983 when I was with the Redskins. And that was the same year that they went to a Super Bowl. Unfortunately, what happened with me was I screwed up my ankle really bad in the Hall of Fame game. I played 12 years in the CFL, and from a childhood dream that I had for many years, I would say I was 8 years old at the time, when I was influenced by a short film actually that a buddy of mine was in. I knew after my football career was over, when I was 29 years old, was when I wanted to get involved with film. Going about trying to get into it was another task.
So over the years, Derek and I would meet up here and there and talk about film, and he was getting into acting. He was doing stunt work and stunt acting, and we would always talk back and forth saying what's going on. And then when I came up with the idea for Fvoyer, I called him and I said, I have this idea, I want you to check out the script, see what you think. He was my first and only choice. Fvoyer is an inner city police drama that follows the tale of this man who's just been released from prison, and he's coming home to see his daughter. The police suspect that he's going to abduct her. They got a tip and they're acting on it, and they're watching him. So the police basically know what the audience knows. As we're watching, we're learning about this guy. Is he going to do it? Is he not? What's he really like? Is there something else going on here that we don't know about? And of course, there's much more going on than what you're seeing through the lens of one camera.
When I first took the script and read it, and seen the elements of it, where there was a little bit of romance, a conflict between one guy that I had a run-in with at in the prison, which is part of the story, and only having the comedy background of theater, I had to dig deep and study a little more than I wanted to become more familiar with what this character was about.
In grade school, from the get-go, I wanted to be involved in plays. I remember getting upset at the teacher because he was going to give the part to someone else. Did do some training at the Stella Adler Academy in LA for a short time, but I had some minor training back home. I didn't want to over or underdo it, and I just thought the toque would be cool, kind of an ode to Belker from Hill Street Blues. I wasn't even a big fan of the show or whatever, I just thought that was a cool look kind of thing.
People have asked me, how do you pronounce the movie? Fvoyer or Voyer or Fvoyer? The movie's pronounced Fvoyer, and the V is inserted to kind of be a play on two words, voyeur and foyer, because it's people watching someone in a foyer. So it's really not all that clever. I thought it looked really neat when it was put on paper, and it would make people ask questions, and I want people to be interested.
Well, the weeks leading up to shooting Fvoyer, we watched hours of just the monitor on the camera to see who was coming in at what time, to figure out the best time to actually do the shoot. The reason for that was because we knew we were going to have no actual on-set rehearsal for this. It was once we go, we go. It's a one-shot deal. We knew we had limited resources with microphones that we had and things like that. We had to switch mics over to different actors when they would appear on screen. So we had to work out all those logistics first beforehand to get everybody coordinated with who was going to be walking on set, in front of the camera, who needed to be mic'd at what time, and to send in the actors at the appropriate time when they had to go.
The reason for doing it all in one take was basically because we only had a small window of opportunity when we could actually shoot, and that was between, you know, like the early morning hours. And to assemble all those people, to get them to do that week after week would not have been possible. And I wanted to try it. I mean, I thought it would be a great experiment, like seeing if you could pull it off. You know, getting what you need in just one take. And it literally only one take. There was no edits. There was no, you know, let's try it again and see what happens. It was that what you see is the very first and only take that we did.